Hello everyone. For today, I am going to explain I code in this activity. So, I am here in my app navigator.tsx. First part is this line. This imports the React, which is required in every file that uses JSX. For example, the HTML like syntax using components. Now, for this two here, the import rather, for these two imports come from the React navigation or the library we use to move between screens. Navigation container manages or here it manages the overall navigation state on the create native stock navigator, or it let us build a stock based navigation, meaning screens are pushed on top of each other like stock cards, where similar on how mobile apps let you go back and to the previous page. Now for import here, or here I import the four screen components I built. Where I have here the home screen, about, the contact, and the profile. Next is the export type rocks top parameters, or this is a TypeScript type definition, where it tells TypeScript what screen exists in my navigator and what parameters each screens expects. Where here I put undefined, or it means none of these screens require any data to be passed in when navigating to them. And next is this gives me type safety if ever I misspell a screen name anywhere in my app. TypeScript will catch the error before I ever run the app. Now for the cons stack, or this part here, I create the actual stack navigator object. And I'm telling it to use my root stack param list type, so it knows which screens are valid. Now for the import here to here, or this is the main component, or I export everything related to navigation and must be wrapped inside the navigation container. It's the root that manage the navigation tree and screen history. So for the stack navigator, initial root name home. Um, this starts, the stack navigator and initial root name home, where it tells the app which screen to show first when it launches. In this case, it will launch to the home screen. Now, in this part here, the stock screen, the home component home screen option title student portal, where this register the home screen, where the name is what I use when calling, the navigation that navigate here, home elsewhere, and then the component is the actual screen to render, and the options is it lets me customize the header. Or here I'm setting the header title to student portal. Next one is the stock that screen. For this three lines in here, register the remaining screens the same way, just without custom header title, so they'll just show their screen name by default. Mm. And then the start navigator, where I close out the navigator and the container. Now let's move to the app.tsx. Or in here, this entry hall in here is that this is the entry point of the entire application, or it's intentional, very simple, because its only job is to render the app navigator from the navigation app navigator, or which then handles all the screen logic. We're keeping up that TSX, this minimal is good, because it's great, no concerns. So let's move to the inside of the screens. Let's start with the home screen. Right here, import React, where I have used the view, so I import the Korean native, components where I need a view where it acts like a container, the text so that it will display the text, the style sheet. It lets me define our styles, and then the button, or it gives me the built-in clickable button, and then the image where it lets me display the pictures. And then I have here the import native stack navigation prop and the root stack param list. Oh my god. For these two imports, give me the TypeScript types for navigations. So, and I use the navigation that navigate um, uh, in this while where TypeScript knows exactly which screen's names are valid. Now for the type of screen props are in here, or this defines the shape of the props or the screen receives. Specifically the navigation object type against my root stack param list and its scope to the home screen. Now, next part is the export default function, home screen navigation, home screen props. Or in this part is the component itself, where I structure navigation directly out of props, so I can call it later to move between the screens. Next is the this part in here. Here, every screen now, it wraps in a root view, styled using the container. Which, if you check the style sheet below, which it has the flex1 to fill the whole screen. Mm, Next one. For the image, where I have in here, where this displays the school logo at the very top of our home screen, where it has the required bundles the image directly into the app at build time, where I have here the logo PNG, where I have got it in the assets where I have put in here the logo PNG. And then the reside mode, maintain, so that make sure the logo scales to fit its box without being stretched or cropped. Next one is this text style, where I have here the title and the subtitle. So these are the simple. So these are the simple um main title and the short message, where each was styled um separately. Where here is that I have called that title, as you can see in here. I put the font size, the font weight into bold, and then color it into something like blue, and then it has the margin button. And then while the subtitle, where its font size is 16, color is has a gray berry color, and the text line it was in center, and then the magic button is 30, margin button rather. Now for the view style, container, in here, where this is the menu card, where it containing the navigation, where each of the button has an on press, where it handle the color navigation that navigate with the target screen name, which is about. So this is what actually moves the user from one screen to another. The contact and the um profile button works exactly the same way, just navigating to their respective screens. Now for the text style, that footer, where I have put here footer text at the bottom, and I close the root view. This part is where the styling lives. I use slash sheet to create instead of inline styles because React Native. Uh, and then notice the properties like flex. I'll justify the content and the line items. Or these all came from the flex block, which it controls the layout and alignment. And I have in here, there's my border radius. Where I have here the border radius round so that it will round the corners, and colors are written in numeral hex code. Um yeah. Now let's move on to the first screen. Hmm. So this one is structure is nearly identical to home screen, but instead of navigation buttons, uh, it displays the static student information. Or in here I have the image where this shows my profile picture. So notice that it has the avatar. Um, this one is, if you look at here, it was the width. must have it set being set into 120. Height is 120. Border radius is 60. So that it makes the border radius plate of the width and height. Now for the text. For each piece of information uses two text components as you can see in here because the label as you can see in here is the font weight is in bold while the state as the text was set to the normal um, font weight. Now let's move to about screen. Now for about screen is the same with the about screen and the contact screen, yeah, where it also follow the exact same container where I have the title here, the content, and the text here. And but I don't, I haven't put any images or navigation. So this is purely just an information about just displays two paragraph. The same with the contact displays labeled fields or email phone number styled the same way as the profile's name course here labeled fields. So now let's move to my output. Output where I have here the logo, the title, and the header here, the student portal, the subtitle, and then the navigation buttons, the footer. So if we're going to click the about, or I have here the about student portal, the card, and the information I have put in my about. Next is the contact or the contact information here, the card, email, and the phone number. For the profile, I have the image in here, the student profile, the card, my name, the course, and the year level. So that's it.